Let's bring in our good friend, Mr. Stein, who is going to tell us exactly what's going on. Mark, it's Michael and Don. How you doing?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
We're doing all right. I get the sense, I don't know if you do as well, that Phil would not be crushed if Carmelo does not stay. And I almost get the sense that he's going to make him an offer that's just bad enough to turn down.
Yeah, I can't really argue with you. I think he's definitely dropped enough hints that leave you feeling that Carmelo isn't exactly getting unconditional love from the Knicks right now. To me, it's a curious strategy. I don't know if that means Phil thinks that he can, recover from this quickly by getting Kevin Love in 2015 or trading for Rondo somehow. I don't. Maybe he does believe that, but Carmelo certainly has holes in his game, and he certainly has his critics, but I think it will be a big loss for the Knicks if they lose him. It's just not that easy to get players that good.
Yeah, that's what we were talking with all these fans who want Melo to go. He's never won. He doesn't make players around him better. So what's the plan if he doesn't come back? So Love, who's never been in the postseason before, Rajon Rondo, who seems to be a bit of a head case. I mean, what exactly is so much better out there than Carmelo Anthony?
Yeah, I'm totally with you, especially when you bear in mind how much the Knicks gave up to get him. I mean, they really gutted the thing to get him, and obviously that wasn't the Phil Jackson regime, but, whatever you want to say negative about Carmelo Anthony, the guy is still one of the top 10 talents in the league. He's one of the 2 best pure scorers in the league. And, we've seen it. You need multiple stars. You need to add to Carmelo Anthony. I mean, if stripping him away leads to some sort of secret plan that we don't know about, I'll be at the front of the line tipping my hat. But it's very dangerous when the one thing to have control of is Carmelo Anthony, at least from a financial standpoint, and they seem somewhat prepared to relinquish that.
Do you have any idea, Mark, how much of a haircut he wants to give him? I mean, what's the max number he could get? $25 million next year?
I mean, look, it could be a 5-year deal that approaches $130 million. I mean, Phil hasn't specifically laid out with us how much of a haircut he wants to take. The reality is they're in such a bad mess in the short term that I don't know how much a pay cut is really going to matter before they're not going to have significant cap space anyway until the summer of 2015. So, I think you're right, and I think more importantly, Carmelo Anthony has picked up on these signals that Phil is not convinced. But Phil is a guy who's very set in his ways, set in his opinions. Now, I mean, when you look at Phil's history, he's always gotten guys like Carmelo Anthony and lifted them to new levels. So I'm sure Knicks fans were hoping the same thing was going to happen here, that even though Phil's not coaching, just by being there to counsel Melo, that this would help Carmelo Anthony kind of find a new level. But, the notion that Phil is cool on the idea, it spreads far beyond your studio.
All right, so this becomes a reality, and he's insulted enough to want to leave. Mark, where are some of the likely destinations for Carmelo?
Well, everybody's naturally talking about Chicago because this is something the Bulls have been targeting for months now. The issue really with Chicago, to me, the Bulls don't want to amnesty Boozer. Jerry Reinsdorf wants to trade Carlos Boozer. He doesn't want to just pay him to go away to try to create the salary cap space to sign Carmelo. But the Knicks don't want to take Boozer back in a sign and trade. So are one of these sides going to yield, or are these positions that they both intend to hold firm to? Now, Houston's in there as well. I don't think you can rule out the Lakers just yet. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me, Carmelo and Kobe Bryant, but until the Lakers are out, I'm not going to say they're out. You heard Pat Riley in recent days address the story that Brian Windhorst and I did about the Heat thinking about trying to turn their big 3 into a big